What's up guys, my name's Dychronic here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be counting down the top 5 PvP energy weapons in Destiny 2 as of right now. Now as of the moment of making this video, I realized Forsaken is actually really close over the horizon, is about 1 month away, and I'm still doing these top 5 videos about what the current meta is right now, even though the meta is going to change very soon. Even then, I still wanted to make the video. So this video is going to be a countdown of the best energy weapons in partly my own opinion, partly the opinion of the community. I used different weapons, I asked different professionals what they thought of different weapons, and of course looked up a bunch of stuff on the internet. For the most part, there's not a lot of videos that have the best weapons in the recent time. So in general, this top 5 is going to be a top 5 listed on 3 different criteria. Firstly, the DPS, the time to kill, which weapons are literally the best at destroying the competition. Secondly, the one I find the more important is ease of use. How easy is it to use to be able to get kills if you don't play a lot or you're noob like me? And lastly, the miscellaneous stats and perks that just make a weapon better than other weapons in the same archetype. Before we get started, I just wanted to apologize about a previous video. I think it was on the TWAB video where I said hashtag made it to puppies at the end, but I didn't leave pictures of puppies. And to make up for it, today we're going to give you a double dose of doggos on Doggo Day. Wow, that was actually really fun to say. Double dose of doggos on Doggo Day. That was really fun. Double dose of doggo on Doggo Day. Wow, okay. You should try that at home. I just wanted to mention I'm not very good at PvP, so if you see some gameplay that's kind of bad, or I lean into some of the other weapons that I'm better with, I apologize. It's just me not playing a lot. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Coming up at number 5 on this top 5 PvP energy weapons is going to be the Positive Outlook. This is a 450 auto rifle with kill clip that has been dominating the auto rifles in PvP. Now, in general, auto rifles have not been seen very much in PvP, but there's definitely a few out there that are fighting for the crown. This weapon is great for many reasons. Firstly, it's a 450 RPM auto rifle, means it's pretty good at the longer ranges, especially in PvP with the range decrease and the nerf that we had a little while ago. After you use it enough, you'll be able to understand the recoil pattern, so it's very easily controllable with its stability and its recoil. And one of the biggest things is that it has kill clips. So as soon as you get 1 kill, reload and go on an absolute tear, destroying enemies in, I think, maybe like a third or less time. This thing absolutely melts when you have kill clip. Kill clip being one of the better perks when it comes to PvP. Another weapon that's very similar to the Positive Outlook is the Uriel's Gift. Again, has a 450 auto rifle, has very similar stats, but instead has tap the trigger instead of kill clip, and has been kind of falling in the meta as far as the range goes, whereas Positive Outlook has the kill clip, which helps increase that range artificially. Honestly, it just depends which one you like better, but in my own personal opinion, Positive Outlook definitely takes the cake. Coming up at number 4 in this countdown of top 5 energy weapons is gonna be the Ikelos SMG. Now this weapon can be obtained from doing escalation protocol when the SMG has the potential of dropping that week. A lot of people definitely overlook this weapon. I personally never really looked at this weapon very much because I found it to jump a little bit too much, but I didn't realize this weapon was actually very good and very easy to control. It's a 750 SMG with a couple of great perks on it. Firstly, it has the aggressive frame, which means high damage, high recoil, and deals bonus damage at close range. But this is easily counteracted with Threat Detector, which increases the reload stability and handling when enemies are in close proximity. Even though it says high damage, high recoil, I find that this weapon is one of the most easily controllable weapons in all of the SMGs in the game. Now, I personally never use SMGs, and this is definitely one of the ones that's more easy to use. I highly recommend you check this one out, especially if you're running, for example, a Vigilance Wing in your primary slot and you want a closer range weapon. I would honestly recommend the Ikelos. It's extremely powerful, very useful. The only problem is you can usually only get 1 kill with a single clip. So if you miss part of that clip, you might not be able to finish off your kill. To be honest, there's really not much more to say about this. This weapon is just very easily controlled when you have an enemy right next to you, does great damage, and can shred enemies about as fast as the anti-OPD, if not almost the exact same speed. Coming in up at number 3 in this top 5 is going to be the Vision Legendary Sidearm. Now this one came out with the Future War Cult win a few weeks ago. When Future War Cult did end up winning, they released a weapon with amazing perks on it. This is one of those burst sidearms with 491 rounds per minute. Very similar to the Last Hope. Honestly, I would recommend the Last Hope. At the same time, I recommend Vision. So if you ever liked the Last Hope burst sidearm, you're probably gonna like the Vision. Whereas Last Hope had things like Zen movement and ricochet rounds to really increase its range as well as its stability, the Vision instead goes for things like accurized rounds and kill clip. Now what makes these sidearms so very amazing is they do about as many bursts as a pulse rifle does at mid-range, however you can do it at close range, and it is a faster fire rate than most of those pulse rifles. And on top of that, it does a little bit more damage, so if you're hitting a little bit more body shots, it's okay. And honestly, with the kill clip on the vision, you're probably going to end up getting some saucy 2 bursts, or at least get very, very close to those, which is actually pretty cool. I personally have never really been a fan of these types of sidearms, and I've never been very good, so the gameplay in the background is not very good, but I definitely see the potential in this weapon being very, very strong, especially after seeing the Last Hope just go an absolute tear in the past metas. Coming up at number 2 in this top 5 is gonna be the inaugural Address Legendary Pulse Rifle. Now this pulse rifle can be found in the Leviathan raid on normal mode. It can be found from Benedict to Inventory, you know, that robot sweeper bot that sells different raid stuff. And to be completely honest, this weapon is one of my favorite weapons in both PvE as well as PvP. Now what makes this weapon so very nice is firstly it's a 390 rounds per minute, which means it's on the higher side of the RPM, but it's still very controllable. Secondly, it has perks like Outlaw and Kill Clip, making it very, very powerful and very, very good at reloading. I gotta be honest, kill clip in PvP is just so damn powerful. You get 1 kill, you reload, and then you're doing way more damage than you were doing before. You can just totally shred the competition. On top of that, the one I was using with the Masterworked extra ammo, I had 42 rounds in my magazine, which is insane. You can definitely get 3 kills in a single magazine without ever having to reload. That being said, you're probably going to find yourself reloading a lot because, again, it does have Kill Clip and Outlaw, which kind of makes the magazine a little bit lopsided in its power and use. Now, if you're looking for a replacement or an alternative to this weapon, the Gion 7 pulse rifle is actually pretty good. It's another 390 pulse rifle with a lot of very similar stats to the inaugural dress, but instead has ricochet rounds and Zen movement, which again is very powerful for a couple reasons. Firstly, ricochet rounds, the way it interacts with range, makes your range a lot more than it may seem, which makes pulse rifles be able to fight more at the mid to mid long range engagements. And then secondly, Zen movement, when doing damage, makes it so your stability is better, making it so you can actually take advantage of that range. Personally, I never really found that range to be that useful. I find that I don't really hit that many shots at that range, and I find that inaugural dress is perfectly suited for the range that the burst is capable of, and I didn't find that the Gion 7 was really that good, but a lot of people just continually tell me the Gion 7 is just amazing. And if you didn't know how to get it, the Gion 7 is from New Monarchy. On Season 3, it had a chance of dropping. It's one of those ones with the weird sunburst design on it, which is actually a really cool looking design. And finally, coming up at number 1 in this top 5 energy weapons, everybody knows what this weapon is. It has been dominating the Crucible. The Graviton Lance is the number 1 weapon for the energy slot in PvP. This is an absolute destruction magnet. If you did not know, this weapon is a 2-burst pulse rifle, exotic pulse rifle for the energy slot that just got a huge buff on one of the previous patches that just made it super duper insane. What makes this weapon so very powerful is the second shot does incredible amounts of extra damage. So that first shot on headshots will do like 10 damage. The second shot will do 59 damage. So technically you need, if you do 2 bursts all in the head, you will almost kill a target. However, the more likely scenario is going to be sharing shots in the body as well as the head, and you're going to end up with 3 burst kills almost every single time. And on top of that, as soon as you get a kill with the Graviton, that target explodes and lets off a bunch of purple balls that hit enemies. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten kills by accident with that thing. Maybe I tag 2 different people, kill one of them, that first guy explodes and kills the guy right next to him. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. And on top of that, it also starts a bunch of explosions, which that throws off a whole bunch of people's shot and makes it so you can actually get more kills more easily. And then the last little bit of it, that second shot that does extra damage has infinite range. So it doesn't matter how far the enemy is, it is going to go infinitely, which means that it has a chance of competing with scout rifles at scout rifle distances. That being said, I would definitely say scout rifles are probably better than the Graviton because of the burst mechanic and how it kind of throws off the shot. Even with maximum stability, it's still a very, very powerful alternative to using scout rifles. And the very last part about it is its catalyst. If you did not know, the catalyst for the Graviton Lance could have been obtained in Season 3 Faction Rally from Dead Orbit, making it so it has better target acquisition, which takes a really, really long time to get. I don't even have it. I think I'm like 60% of the way through, but it makes it even better and even more of a monster than it already is. Great weapon to pair with this weapon is going to be a close range weapon like anti-OPD, and then finally in your heavy slot, whatever you're most comfortable with, you can go with perhaps a main ingredient or a shotgun, whatever you really want. And that's pretty much it. That is the top 5 energy weapons. I will be putting on screen some honorable mentions. The ones with stars next to them are definitely ones that were competing for the top 5. Definitely very, very powerful weapons. Definitely things like Mononon I use in a lot of my combinations, especially when I'm going with a close range primary, or I just want to have a very long range secondary. The Drang is also very good when used with the Sturm. A lot of people were telling me that the Drang Sturm combo was very, very powerful, but they're not powerful without the combo. So if you do want to end up using the Drang, you should definitely use it with the Sturm and try out that amazing 2-tap. And then lastly, things like the Darkest Before, Requiem 45. These 540 pulse rifles are very, very powerful, very similar to the Autumn Wind as well as the Time Inspire, but they're in the energy slot. Anyways, that's pretty much the video for you guys today. I hope you guys did enjoy. Again, if you do have some questions about certain weapons, or you wanted to propose different weapons that should have been on the top 5, let me know down in the comments down below. This is just based on the things that I've found. Perhaps there's something I missed, and I'd love to hear about it so I could definitely try it out and actually crush the Crucible. I've been your host, Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.